Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
New details today in the case of an unlicensed dentist accused of luring patients to Mexico for treatment.
Well, Team 10 first exposed Dr. Robert Mansueto last year, and today he faced a judge. And our Team 10 investigator Allison Ash has the expert testimony that claims that patients he treated could have developed infections or even died. Allison.
Yeah, a dental expert who said Mansueto, who was working under the name Dr. Bob Franco, took a lot of chances with his patients, some of whom I tracked down last year.
How do you sleep at night? And why do you not care if you hurt people?
That's what Donna Cooper still wants to ask Mansueto. Team 10 secretly watched last March as she and a friend got into the car owned by a man they thought was Dr. Bob Franco and followed them to Tijuana.
The patient may.
A dental expert testified that Mansueto didn't do a medical background on Cooper. If he had, he would have known she was on blood thinners, which could have spelled disaster.
The patient would bleed out, faint, have loss of blood pressure.
Mansueto took notes while the expert witness testified another of his patients had a major setback after her trip to Mexico.
On the way back to the U.S., the patient began bleeding in the car. Her sutures opened up, and there was no form of suppressing the blood.
Testimony showed the bleeding was stopped with a piece of paper found inside Mansueto's car. He told her to apply pressure.
There always is a risk of introduction of bacteria from the piece of paper and from the mouth, and potential subsequent infection.
On cross-exam, Mansueto's attorney fired back. She said the expert witness never spoke to any of Mansueto's alleged victims. And even if he had, their memory might not be that accurate.
Even if the patient did not recall it being done, correct?
Mansueto faces a total of 23 criminal counts of practicing without a license, using a false name, and grand theft involving 4 victims. If convicted, he could face up to 13 years in prison. Now, 3 of those additional charges were added just today. Mansueto has pleaded not guilty, though, to all 23 counts. Testimony is expected to run through tomorrow, at least through tomorrow. Of course, we'll be here and let you know when the judge decides whether there's enough evidence for Mansueto to stand trial. Reporting live from the downtown courthouse, Allison Ash, Team 10.
Allison, thank you.
This is a Team 10 investigation. The Coronado dentist who used a fake name drove patients to Mexico and then drilled holes in their jaws. He's going to have to wait for a jury to decide what happens next.
Our investigator Allison Ash broke this story of Dr. Mansueto, a man practicing without a California dental license. She was there when the judge decided this case will now move forward.
Yeah, you know, Mansueto's attorney argued that he didn't commit any crimes on this side of the border and claims he's actually a licensed dentist in Mexico. Team 10 tracked his movements last year. First, he advertised in the San Diego Reader. Then when patients called, he used the name Dr. Bob Franco. He pulled teeth, drilled into people's jaws, and placed implants in their mouths for a fraction of what it costs here in the U.S. Now, the judge said he heard enough evidence to move this case forward.
He used a false name to avoid someone looking him up and finding out that he had his license taken away. I think that is a significant factor.
Mansueto's dental license was revoked in California for negligence and incompetence. That was years ago. If convicted, he faces up to 13 years in prison. We'll let you know what happens. Allison Ash, Team 10.
All right, Allison, thank you.
Only Team 10 exposed an unlicensed dentist working under a false name, luring San Diego patients across the border. Now, Robert Mansueto is sitting in a jail cell accused of a long trail of deception.
10 News at 5 starts right now.
10 News begins with breaking news.
Team 10 is breaking news about the unlicensed dentist accused of leaving his victims in agonizing pain and charging them for it. Our investigation got the attention of the state. And now Robert Mansueto is behind bars and his victims couldn't be happier.
I wanted to make sure he didn't get away.
It's a major break in a case uncovered by Team 10.
Investigator Allison Ash broke this story back in April. She is live at the downtown courthouse where the once prominent Coronado dentist faces several criminal counts. Allison.
Yeah, this all started with this ad in the San Diego Reader. It offers bargain prices for dental implants, but you got to go down to Mexico to get them. Now, our Team 10 investigation launched a state investigation that led to the arrest of Dr. Robert Mansueto. He also goes by the name Dr. Bob Franco. Right now, he faces 3 felony counts and 8 misdemeanors, but we're told there could be more. The judge ordered us to distort the face of Dr. Robert Mansueto as he entered a plea of not guilty to charges he duped patients like Donna Cooper into thinking he was qualified to pull teeth and place implants. He isn't. His license was revoked in 2005.
I don't consider myself an easy mark, and yet I was. He was that charming and persuasive.
Team 10 went undercover in April, following Mansueto as he drove Cooper to Tijuana, where she says he pulled most of her teeth and improperly placed implants. She's out thousands of dollars and a mouth full of teeth. That's why she rushed to the courthouse to see him today in handcuffs and shackles.
I wanted to make sure he didn't get away. I wanted him to know that he's there thanks to me, in part. And then he picked the wrong victim.
Mansueto was arrested crossing the border. The charges against him involve 4 different victims, 3 who were interviewed by Team 10. The deputy district attorney believes there are more. Here's Cooper's message to them.
Come forward and be counted and get him some justice that he deserves.
Mansueto's bail is set at $200,000. He remains in a downtown jail. The deputy district attorney is calling him both a flight risk and a danger to the community. Now, if he's convicted, he faces more than 6 years in prison. Reporting live downtown, Allison Ash, Team 10.
He is accused of drilling into people's mouths without a license to do so, operating under a false name, and more. Well, Team 10 first exposed the once prominent local dentist in 2009, and again this spring after watching Robert Mansueto take patients to Mexico for treatments.
And Team 10 investigator Allison Ash is joining us again. The arrest warrant, and then you've investigated, I guess he was posed as patients? What was going on?
Well, there was a sting that actually happened. This document says that minutes after Mansueto, who called himself Dr. Bob Franco, offered to take investigators to Mexico for dental implants, he denied the whole thing. The arrest warrant details the California Dental Board investigation launched after Team 10 followed Mansueto into Tijuana, where patients say he offered them discount dental implants. Those patients say this ad in the Reader lured them.
I called that one because of the price, mainly, because it said 70% cheaper than anywhere else.
That victim is named both in the arrest warrant and the complaint against Mansueto, who called himself Dr. Bob Franco. She's one of 3 patients that spoke to Team 10 in what the warrant refers to as an expose on Mansueto. The document also tells how dental board investigators conducted a sting operation, sending one of their own to Mansueto's Coronado home, where she first asked him if he was going to look in her mouth, and he said no. She told him she was very nervous, and he offered to give her a tranquilizer. The undercover investigator then claimed she had a family emergency and couldn't go to Mexico for implants. 10 minutes after she left, the warrant says investigators with badges knocked on Mansueto's door, asking him if he'd been taking patients to Mexico for implants. He replied, "That is crazy." Mansueto now faces 11 criminal counts for both practicing medicine and dentistry without a license. I checked this afternoon with the Border Patrol. They confirmed Mansueto was arrested at the San Ysidro Port of Entry Wednesday. They did not say whether he had any patients with him. Now, Mansueto is in the central jail. His bail set at $200,000.
The warrant lists 3 patients. Do they expect more?
They do, and in fact, 2 more patients were people that we actually have video of getting into Mansueto's car and heading into Mexico. Spoken to both of them, and investigators are now in the process of interviewing them. We, of course, will let you know how all this shakes out.
We know you will. Thank you, Allison.